Hello everyone! Today we are basically going to be doing the equivalent of this specials talk we did, which was an entire 1 hour 30-minute VOD you can find on the channel, but we're going to do it for main weapons, and yes, this will involve their kits, and we're going to talk about the state of things in the game. So yeah, this will kind of be like a tier list, but it kind of won't. So like, for example, generally, yeah, as you go down this tier list, stuff gets weaker, but like, Inkjet right now is probably more like right here, and then Booyah is a bit better, or like maybe it's better than Booyah. It's like, around here, but label-wise it fits here because it's an entry with significant flaws. Very easy to get shot because you have no health and a bigger hitbox and a recall. So, kind of labels like that. So, for example, if we were to rank the X tier weapons, what do we got? We got, like, here's the sloshing machine. Yeah, that one's really good. We got the splatanas that people will infinitely debate which one is better. Those are pretty good. What's another, like, super good weapon? Oh, the Splash-O-Matic, the classic. And we got the newcomer, the ballpoint splatling. And, like, just kind of throw things here until we're done. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make these fun labels that explain things instead. And yeah, it'll be cool. So, what's our highest, most important label? Good main plus kit that you can build around. And then these get dropped from the list. Right? This is why BP being good is really important. Because Ballpoint and Splash are kind of like the most important thing in a comp. Right? You pick them, and they can paint for you, they can poke for you, they have a bomb that does things, and then they have a special that, like, gets kills and gets your team in and all that stuff. So, like, if you're making a comp, you can throw these into a comp, and then whatever else you throw with it can work. Splatanas are very good, but, like, you're not going to build, like, this cannot be like, yeah, I'll just throw a sword into whatever comp I have, and it'll cover for its weaknesses. Doesn't really do that. In this case, these are good main plus kit. You build around. Oh my god. Sorry. Kit team can build around. Yes. Okay. So, these are like the base of a team. This is, okay, this thing is really good, let's play around it, So, like, you can run a wiper in a comp, and it's got, like, a really synergistic kit, and the special's pretty good. Yes, Stamp is actually, like, not offer right now. I don't know. Like, a little bit good is kind of where I'd label it. And then, like, the pieces work together and stuff, But, like, this thing cannot paint the map, and this thing cannot, like, get a billion Booyah Bombs to get its team in if it needs to. These can. This thing is not going to sit painting a splat zone forever, and then its Zipcasters will 100% let its team walk forward. And this thing is a stamp, so, like, if you think the stamp is going to get your team in. Moving on. So, those are, like, some of the better weapons in the game, right? Those are probably, like, pretty near undisputed top 5. But let's throw in other weapons that fit. Like, heavy. So, let's get good main plus kit that works most places. So, this is like this tier, but, like, slightly weaker. So, for example, you would more pick this, like, or works for specific stuff. So, right now, what's a reason to pick heavy over ballpoint? Important question. Why would you pick heavy over ballpoint right now? Is there any reason to do that? Well, heavy is a lot harder to dive than a ballpoint. Because heavy has a wave breaker. It's like if you're fighting a Tetra and a Wiper that will run at you, and you throw the wave, and you charge, and you shoot, and you don't get ran at. It also paints better at a distance. Like, as a whole, this is probably better because this is the more reliable entry tool, and that's kind of what the weapon in this role wants to do. But for the most part, you can throw this thing in instead of a ballpoint and you'll barely feel a difference. Like, it will work, and it even has some things it does better. It's like, weapons in this tier are also in, like, a pretty damn good spot. So, but, you know, there might also be places where you don't want to use it. So, like, E-liter would probably be here too, right? Like, you wouldn't really want to pick an E-liter in Rainmaker, for example. Like, in Rainmaker, it's not really good at that. But it's really good elsewhere. So, for example, Explo. Actually, would Explo be a... Yeah, I guess, like, this works for a thing. Like, this works for a thing. You know, like, this will get missiles and paint, and that's really good on zones. Actually, these would be... Let's do, like... situationally strong main plus kit that works for specific stuff. And actually, this one can go here. Because I think these are going to be helpful. And then leader here. Yeah, because these are more situational. Anyway. Like, brush. Brush would be here. What else is, like, works sometimes pretty reliably? Oh yeah, try. Where's this thing? Oh no, but I said strong kit. Okay, this would be here. This is great main, but comp must make up for kit. And a Squiffer can go here too. So, but we're gonna label as kind of these three for a bit, and this is gonna cover most of the, like, hey, these are weapons that you should pick in the game, you know? Like, these are all, like, you can pick these in competitive and it's a good idea. But, like, this is why. Like, if you're picking this, you got a good main, you got a kit that works for specific stuff, and it's, like, pretty close to being here. This is, okay, well, I pick, like, this for zones, or this for zones, or this for zones, or this for specific comps, you know? Or actually, this can go here. I like brush. Or, like, I pick this because I want to play around this. But, like, if you're not going to play around the brush, you don't want to do it. Right? But you don't need to build, like, a comp around it, is the difference. Like, here you actually want a comp around a wiper, or a comp around a stamper. But you don't really need a comp around an ink brush for an ink brush to do ink brush things. Same for heavy. Like, it doesn't really require that much specifics. Like, brush is simple. You got a guy behind, and he's pretty self-sufficient. And then if it needs to get in, whatever, it'll get a whale for itself. Like, you can run things that work with the brush, but, like, you don't have to. You can pick it, it'll do its own thing, and it'll probably, like, be fine. Right. Yeah. Tetra is another example here. Like, great main comp most main up for the kit. You have a reef slider. You have a tacticooler. You have a big bubbler. You kind of need things that will allow you to play to these because you pick these for the main gun. This is a stupid main weapon that snipes people at a stupid far distance, and then it ledge peaks, and it also paints. And it's really stupid. But, like, if you don't actually play around the fact that you have a weapon that can do those things, you have a bubble that it will passively charge, and it will mildly locate people. So, like, you better actually let it do the thing that makes it stupid as many times as possible. This thing's really good at running in and killing people and, like, playing on the sides of the map. So if you're not gonna... Like, if you're gonna have a Tetra dive on, like, the side of the map, and your three teammates are gonna sit really passive and farm their specials, why do you have a Tetra? Like, bro, go, you got a guy who has to go in the whole match, go help him! Like, that's why you have it, otherwise don't pick this. Try a similar thing. If you're picking try, your comp better be able to go in with the damn cooler whenever you have it. Like, you better pick something that actually can go use the cooler. If you pick try, and then you also have a leader, that, like, won't do anything with the cooler, you're already drastically lowering the value you're gonna get. Not everyone needs to run in and die, but, like, typically what you have with this thing should actually like having a cooler on their comp. Otherwise, why would you have a cooler? Okay? It's like stuff like that is what we're ranking here, you know? So these are all like the, for sure, solid weapons. They have a solid game plan. They have things they do, right? Nautilus specific stuff, right? If you want location, like this thing is very good at checking stuff like carbon, for instance, or like short range shooters that play really stealthily because it just lasers them and locates them, and then it still can rein itself and its team in, you know? I'm gonna talk about that later. Oh, this is, okay, this is different, actually. Now we got our tier below. Or, actually, no, this is the... It's kind of make up for kit, but, like, this thing doesn't have a bad kit. It's more... Yeah, I guess this is here, technically. Like, you play around the kit. Like, here is fine. Like, you have burst combos and stuff, but you still have to kind of, like... Well, here's more... Actually... This one's weird to rank. Carbon's so weird to rank. Hi, Zach. How you doing? I'm now thinking how to label things. Labeling mains is much harder. Like... Okay, I'm gonna say, like... Comp must work for the gun. Work around this. But has a kit. And then this can go above here. Maybe this would be simpler if I just, like, put gaps in things. So, like, but, like, even here, this is much of a gap. Okay. After this will be a gap. Probably. I don't know. I'll figure it out. We'll see. But yeah. This doesn't have a kit problem, but, like, you still have to play around the fact that you have a carbon. Like, you must paint for this thing. You must throw things. Like, at enemies the carbon is fighting, so it can kill it from further away. You must walk forward when it pops the Trizuka, or, like, be ready for it to break a crab and pop your own. You know, like, that's what AR does. Like, AR runs a Neo Splash, and normally running a Neo Splash is not that great an idea. But for this thing, it's made to paint the entire map, to displace enemies with Suction Bomb. The strikes rarely actually do it. And then to be, like, the strike will instead just cloud the carbon, so you can't see it, and it'll go and it'll be like, okay, I will now swim forward, and they literally can't see me, because there's just giant tornadoes on the map blocking my opponent's view, and then it'll go kill something. Like, the strike makes way for this to do something, not the other way around. Okay, is there anything else that's, like, kind of relevant? Ah, this thing. Yes, same thing here. Awesome. This is where I think rapid goes. And probably range. Yes, rapid and range would go here. Like, these weapons are actually not that bad right now. They're not amazing, but they're very much a you must play around kit thing. Like, this has an actual kit. And this has an actual kit. Luna Neo is... No, it's not. That weapon is nowhere near here. So, like, rapid. Unlike a ballpoint, like, I've had some people ask, why is rapid not, like, seen as really good when ballpoint also has inkjet, and, like, this is a good weapon? Well, first, the main weapon's kind of overhyped in this game. Fights are nowhere near as long as they are in Splatoon 2 without ink armor, and that kind of let rapid much more reliably, like, chip a bunch of people in a fight because of how long it was going on. Meanwhile, this thing now, like, it still can torp combo you. That's still a threat. It still has some walling out potential. But, like, that's about it. Besides that, you get inkjet, but not very often. Sometimes this will help you with pushes, but sometimes not. But you need paint for this thing. You need to chip damage and actually go with the chip damage it does. And you have to have things that will keep the distance pressure when this thing inevitably needs to refill its ink tank, because its white ink frames are kind of a problem. This thing is pretty much the same thing, Except it's much better at actually killing than this. Like, this doesn't need a bomb to threaten to kill people. This thing needs a torp to threaten to kill people more often. If you get hit once by this thing and it can go for a follow-up shot, you need to fucking move. Or the range blaster will jump and his follow-up shot will go into a floor and you'll be fine. But, you know, generally, you have to, like, get a shot and then be able to move. On the other hand, this gets Wave Breaker, right? Like, this gets Wave, and Wave makes this thing actually scary. When this thing has a Wave Breaker, it is a significantly different beast of a weapon. Because now this thing is one-shotting with indirects, it can see you, it's forcing you to jump, meaning its job of, like, directing the opponent will actually happen. Like, much more often. That kind of thing. However, it gets, like, no specials. It has bad ink efficiency. It can't paint. You have to actually do things with the fact that it kills things. Like, this is a niche. Right? This is more of a niche. In fact, I guess I would label this lower. Technically. Because this one kind of works everywhere. This where, like, you don't want everywhere. Compma's workaround has a kit. Niche only. This, yeah, that's probably a bit more accurate. So, like, still good, but you don't pick this everywhere. Like, even if you do this, you are not picking this thing in Rainmaker. And you are not picking this thing in most zones maps. Right, you pick this for Tower, probably works for a lot of Clams maps and a few zones. And that's if you play around it. So yes, probably should be better, but that's where it is now. Okay, where else are we? Should I just make the Neo Splash tier? Yeah, I guess I should make the Neo Splash tier. Supplements some weapons well. Otherwise, mid. Supplements some, like, some niches. Slash comps well. This is actually where Neo Splash goes. Okay, I'm gonna have to put niches or comps, because this tier maker is gonna look better if I do that. There we go. Or comps. Otherwise, yeah, I'm getting this as low as possible. So this is where Neo Splash would actually go, like shot and stuff. Well, this is here. This isn't complicated. It's just there. This is where Neo Splash goes. Oh, and Dooley can. I guess these both can just go here. Like, in this case, your comp needs to actually get things in because you have a Dooley and has to play around the Zuka. But, like, you can pick these and it's not going to feel that different. See, Dooley can actually be picked now because this is in the game. Like, you can pick this, plus this, plus this, plus this now, for example. You know? Splash Neo's down here. How's Neo Splash down here? If you've not seen the Tri-Strike talk, go see the Tri-Strike talk. This thing can't fight. This fights. This one, like, this weapon actually fights. This weapon does not fight. This thing paints the floor, and it throws Tri-Strikes. Which is, like, cool if you have this. And that's maybe if you have this, barely. And that's about it. And then, like, tower control, sometimes it's nice to be able to perma, like, nuke the objective. You know, like, but that's all you're getting, really. Like, for the most part, if you really want to splash, you just pick this one, and this one will get your team in. So yeah, and we can throw our other, like, well, I guess if you really want. Oh, and then this is here, too. It feels really weird to rank Dually Sculpture and Range in the same spot. But, like, they kind of are. You pick this because it's like a Tetra, but it's worse at what a Tetra does, but it has Wave Breaker, though. So, like, Wave Breaker over Shark. But, like, you better be playing around this thing's survivability, because this thing is not killing or doing damage. Like, ever. And its pain is mediocre because its ink efficiency is bad. And it also can barely throw bombs. Because its ink tank is really bad. And it has to roll, which takes 8% every single time. So, like, it's around here. Like, you pick this some places it's really good when you can play around the rolls, and you have to build a comp around it. No, it doesn't. We'll talk about the bows later. T-Tech also goes here. T-Tech can do the exact same thing Neosplash wants to, but nobody feels like the need to realize that, except this thing also has a bomb. What song is this? I'll put it in the chat. Anyway. So that's kind of the difference there that we're getting at, you know? Like, these two weapons can both do the same thing. Like, you can pick this like this, and it's honestly, like, not actually that different. The main reason you would want to pick this over Neosplash is the bomb, though. Like, the main weapon is not that much better. It's like, fight's a little bit better, but the main thing is you have a bomb. It's like, it depends. Do you want to, like, strike your carbon in, and then you go in as well? Or do you want to strike your carbon, or sorry, if you want to go in as well, you pick this one. Or do you want to strike your carbon in and then stick to painting and have a team that does that? So for example, like, if you have Machine V-Splash, carbon, then you'd probably pick this one. Because the other ones will both go in and fight with the carbon. Like, your V-Splash should be more aggressive with your strikes, you know, and like, set it up, apply with the carbon pressure, maybe get an aggro crab spot, whatever. Whereas this thing, like, okay, maybe something else needs to hang back. Like, maybe we have a ballpoint, and the ballpoint, like, needs to stay, like, get an inkjet and, like, stagger or something. So we'll pick this one. Oh, so these tiers are not ordered. I'm not going to order them, I don't care. God, what do I think of this weapon? I don't even think I can label 96 this high. Or I guess it could be like a CB niche. Yeah, I guess it's like a CB niche. Like, you can pick this for clams or occasional maps, and that's about it. But, like, for the most part, you don't really want a Kraken right now. Like, a Kraken doesn't really do much in most places. There's a few places where it does, but for the most part, like, this is just the main plus sub combo. Is, like, it's good against these. Because Splatanas, for all their insane special object damage, actually don't do much damage against walls, and neither of them have a bomb that does either. So, like, these actually have a hard time fighting this. Like, it's kind of annoying. Now, if you actually build a comp around these like you're supposed to, this isn't that big a deal, and that's why it's down here. But if you just throw Splatana into a normal comp, maybe this thing will be annoying. Yeah, this just says extra stuff. We're not ranking any of this. Okay. We're running down the list of relevant weapons, and then we get to talk about certain irrelevant ones. Actually, I think we might be... Oh, no, this is like... Yeah, there you go. C-Jet! This is the Starburst thing. This fits how they play. Like, this is a very stally, control the pace of the game type weapon. Like, I will get a lot of rain, and when I have rain and mist on a choke point, you can't move. Because you will be in such a disadvantageous, like, position in that fight if you decide to go fight there, that my team will win. And I will do that constantly, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm gonna go poke you. And I'm gonna, like, paint ahead of my team, and they can still get their specials. That's the whole thing. So, like, if you want to play like how Starburst plays in Rainmaker, for example, this is really good. But if you're not gonna play like that, why bother? Right? So, like, this works for specific teams. Also, this should be flipped. If I'm like trying to make this technically in order. It's not really in order, but I'm gonna try, and if I am, then that means this is above this. Because these are more general. But really, it doesn't. The order does not really matter. This is also niches. Really aggro stuff can actually, like, you can run a Tetra with this, and then run, like, Splash BP. So, like, you can do Splash Ballpoint 89 Tetra, and it actually works really well. because this thing is like a support that can go be an aggro with the Tetra. Like, this thing will get a chump really fast, it'll locate people for the Tetra to target, and then it'll launch a bunch of mini shields for the Tetra, and because it has a 10.5-second cooldown, it'll just go with them anyway. For the most part, like, in the same way Neo Splash is very much a weapon you pick because you have a carbon, you can pick 89 because you have a Tetra. Like, this is very much a Tetra loves to have this weapon, but everything else is like, do we really want chump? But, like, this thing's like, yes, 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 yes. This will do everything the Tetra wants. It will be its perfect teammates. Like, 89 plus Tetra, very fun combo. If you have a support friend and a Tetra dude, like, put your support guy on this. And then learn how to play it, and your Tetra will be forever grateful. Also, like, this is mostly his own thing. Yeah, 89's a bit underrated. Always has been. Okay, I think that's... And then, yeah, this is... places where you don't want E-liter's speed, but you still want a charger, which are rare, but, like... this is the weapon for you! Okay, is there anything else relevant to rank? Oh, yeah, this thing exists. Yeah, there. Squeeze was also there, yeah. I forgot this was in the game. Nobody picks it. Probably because people just don't like the kit. And then... okay. I think everything else here is not in a great spot. Oh yeah, Bamboo. I think Bamboo can go here. But I don't see it, so I'm like the least confident. But in theory, a comp around a Bamboo should still work for like good Bamboo maps and be like notable. What about Luna Neo? That weapon is terrible. We'll get to that. Hot garbage. Yeah, I think everything else here is not really worth picking outside of niches. Like, is there anything here that's better than... oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, up there. Pretty easy. This is... oh yeah, this is the old... this is the old Splash model. Don't worry, I got it. New Splash model. Take this old one out of here. And old Splish as well. Yeah, it's the... in 3.0, they updated the models. Okay. So, let me see. I'm just doing a quick rundown. I have not forgotten anything. But I think I haven't. Okay, yeah. Do I really believe in Bucket Deco? Probably not. Zimmy? I think Zimmy's not worth it, and I'll talk about it. My opinion of Zimmy has fallen pretty damn low, I'll be honest. I'm debating if I think Bucket Deco's actually worth it, and I think the consensus around Bucket players is no. So I will probably just stick with that. Okay. Right, now we get to have fun. So, that took a while. These are all weapons that I think, like, will probably trend upward as the game goes on. Like, everything here and lower will probably only get better, except this thing, because Missile might eventually have to get nerfed if they put it on something better. But, like, for the most part, I think this kind of stuff is fine. Like, all of these have reasons to be picked. These two tiers are a lot like, okay, you can pick them, but, like, you probably have someone who really wants to pick them. But, like, you can do it. These are, like, okay, they make sense. Like, you can pick them, and they're, like, good. You have to do some work around it, but it's fine. And then everything here is, like, you can just kind of pick it, and you'll be fine. Like, you don't really have to... like, you still build around these, but, like, if you say you want to comp around a Stamper, people aren't gonna, like, think anything like, wow, you really want to comp around that weapon? That's crazy. I don't want to put in the effort for it. They'll be like, oh, no, this is, like, top 5 weapon. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, we'll do it, you know? So here's where we get to the stuff that has problems. Stuff that has issues balance needs to fix. And that will be every weapon here. Every weapon you see on your screen here needs help balance-wise. Every single one of them needs help balance-wise, or they need a new kit. So let's start with the most depressing one first, right? These are great main weapons doomed by kit forever. Or maybe not forever, but they're doomed by their kit. So what falls into here? Number one example is the Swig Roller. I think so many people don't realize that Nintendo actually, like, they made this thing a good gun now. Like, they actually did it. They made this thing a good weapon. Like, this is the best main weapon roller in the game. I am not trolling. But it's stuck with, like... Here's the thing. I think Swig's kit being bad was a complete accident. I think in some... I don't understand the logic, but I think Nintendo actually thought this was a good kit. Like... I think they did try to give it a good kit. They just failed spectacularly. But I think they did try to give it a good kit. Like, it just didn't work, you know? Like, it's... It literally is just doomed because it has vacuum and a wall. That's it. Like, this thing's 1 and 2 shot range on vertical flicks are good. Like, really good. Its vertical flick is also fast. So, like, you get hit by a 50, you gotta move quickly before you get 2-shotted. At, like, mid-range. On top of that, it also gives this thing the ability to move, because of how far away it paints. Like, a roller can vertical flick for itself to move, but it's slow. This thing can move way faster. Like, this is the fastest moving base weapon of rollers. Like, this thing can paint and move fine. And then, obviously, its horizontal flick is 2 things. It is paint, and it is reliable damage. This thing has the biggest hitbox in the game. Like, for comparison, this thing reaches further than Octobrush, reaches wider than Octobrush, and outside of Octobrush's effective range will be doing a reliable 35 damage. Octobrush caps at 40. Up close, you do 40, and that's less than a line of range. This thing will hit people far away and do 35 damage. And it does that while it's painting the whole map. So, like, if an enemy team is clumped up and a Swig walks in and horizontal flicks twice, the entire team is low, and the entire floor around them is painted, and you just send someone in and shoot them, and it is so easy for, like, you to get kills. Like, you're not going to kill a single person fast with this thing, but you will very easily disrupt a team fight. Now, the problem is, you stop doing all of that to pop a special that does nothing and then it kills you, or your teammates die. Because instead of painting for them and doing damage, you then just kind of sit there, and then a Zipcaster kills you, or a crab fills it up and then kills you. Or whatever. Oh, and by the way, this thing also breaks objects, like, instantly. That's also a thing it does. Like, this thing has the DPS of a Splatana. Like, this thing can just shred a crab if you panic a crab on it. Like, that's another thing, like, the few times you go aggro with Swig you can do. If you aggro Splash and they panic crab, you just break that shit and kill them immediately. Like, it's hilarious. If you're Splash and you fight this thing, you actually can't pop your crab. You have to fight it with your main gun. Which is so funny to me. Like, this, dude, when this thing actually gets a kit and gets in a comp, it's gonna be so fun to watch people slowly realize the amount of stupid shit this weapon can actually do. Like, this went from a paint bot to one of the coolest supports in the game. And the only thing it needs is a kit. As long as the devs give it a kit, it'll be good. Would I play it? Maybe. If it got a real kit and it was good, I like this weapon, I would probably pick it. Like, I like Dynamo, and this is like Dynamo, except it's actually good at what it's supposed to do, while Dynamo is just bad at everything it tries to do. So yeah, like, this Like, if this had a kit, this is where it would be. Like, no changes, just a good kit. Like, Fizzy Booyah, Beacon Inkstorm, Fizzy Inkjet, Burst Bomb Wavebreaker, any of them. Like, it's not picky. Any good kit will make this thing go here. Possibly higher. So yeah, Swig is a very dumb weapon, and I really hope it's good because, like, this is the most creative, inventive, varied, and fun of a support this game has ever had. Like, this is more than just a painting fast weapon. This is an object damager, reliable chip, like, has the ability to mid-range poke, like, all this stuff. And it has fair weaknesses to balance it out, but, like, a good player with this thing is actually scary until they have to use a sub or pop their special. So, yeah, this thing is just waiting. What else is just waiting for a kid? Is there anything else in the game that I'm gonna think this highly of? Probably not. No. No. Yep, that's it. That's the whole category. Rapid Pro? uh, guys, this is right here. This is one of the best kits a Rapid could ever get. Rapid Pro's a worse version of this, like, main weapon. Did raid go through? Did I get a raid? Oh, I did see it. It just did not pop up for me. Okay, yes, thank you. I appreciate the raid. How are you doing? Okay. Anyway. So, let's go, like, good main, but needs kit it doesn't have. So, these are main weapons that are not, like, great, but if they were with the right kit, it could work. Number one example, Reflux. Reflux paints well, it does not paint far. Like, it paints near it. And it's also an extremely unreliable fighter. This thing has the range to be able to go for its stupid shots, and if it misses, it gets another shot or can move and it doesn't instantly die. If this thing misses a shot, you are dead. Like, you are dead. Bye-bye. You are gone. Right? That's it. So this is a weapon that just does not work because it cannot sit back forever. It has to go forward. And whenever it goes forward, it has a 0 margin for error. Or like what, 1, 2, 3% margin for error. And if you mess it up, you just die. Maybe we will see a God Reflux do things. Maybe. But I don't think it's going to happen until it gets a kit that makes it a little bit easier. With a good kit, I think it would be like here. You would still have to have a comp around it so it doesn't explode, but if it had a self-sufficient kit that could, like, manage a bit better, I could see it being higher. What else here? Yeah, Dapple. Dapple is a pretty good main gun. Like, all things considered, it is extremely fast. And that's really, like, all it is. It's extremely fast and it kills you quickly. The problem is, it has 2 kits that don't, like, let you do that. This thing doesn't have a special to go in. This thing doesn't have a special or a sub. But instead is like, well, if you die, you get back faster, so you can try again more often. Like, you'll fail, but you can come back and try again faster. That's this weapons kit. Like, it gives it none of the tools to succeed, but does not even hesitate in encouraging it to try again. Over and over. It's okay. You got the beacon to jump to, and you got the cooler to respawn. You'll be okay. And then this thing, they gave it, like, the perfect sub it needs. Like, an actual distraction. And then they gave it Shark. Still has problems. Still doesn't paint very far away. You know? Like, it doesn't reach that far. Still has really bad range. Dodge rolls don't go too far, even if they are, like, teleports. So, like, the main weapon's not perfect, But if it had a kit, it would be picked. Hell, this thing's even picked in rain sometimes. It shouldn't anymore because now Tri-Nuvo's in the game, so there's no reason to pick it anymore. But, like, for a little bit, people did actually pick it for Rainmaker where the special was somewhat useful. Because the main weapon is, like, actually pretty good. Buckets. Yeah, buckets are here. Technically they're not. They're more in between. They are Great Main Mech Kit. Great Main Mech Kit. So I guess these are technically here. Right? If we're going with our order thing, our arbitrary whatever order, then I guess this is whatever. By the end, I'm probably going to give up trying to order these things, but for now, I'm going to try to make it look somewhat decent. Someone's going to screenshot and post it to Twitter without context, so. This thing cannot do, like, the main thing this does compared to Machine is it can go much more aggressive, because it can kill, it kills much better, and it, like, also combos with everything because it's a 70 damage number. The problem, and I mean it's a big problem, when you pop the special, your entire game flow stops on this weapon. This one, on the other hand, has a special that does that. Like, you go in with the bucket, you kill someone, you zip, you keep getting kills, and then you recall and you, like, maybe fight people, maybe win the fight already. Like, I debated moving this up because a bucket deco who gets one kill to start momentum and has zip ready is scary as hell. And the line marker, while shit, at least is, like, an actual threat in a player that gets good at it. The problem is, this thing actually can't get in. This thing can get in, but can't keep its streak going. This thing can't get there in the first place. You can't zip to get in because you zip and then you recall and you're not there. The zip works when you're already in. Like, that's what Stamper likes to do. No, Splat Bomb, yeah, Splat Bomb, like, that's what I'm saying. That Splat Bomb and Strike get this in, but, like, you can't continue when you're in. You have no continuation. This thing has continuation, but this can't get you in because you have a dart. It's like you can't go anywhere. Someone else has to get you in. It's like the name of the game against this weapon is keep it out, and the name of the game against this weapon is to just kill it when it gets in, because it doesn't have tools to, like, demolish your entire team. Like, you can trade this one out. Much harder to trade this one out, because when it gets a kill, it's gonna Booyah Bomb and get help. And then you have a problem on your hands. Like, that's why stuff like this works against it, because I can shred the Booyah maybe fast enough to kill it before its team comes and have a chance. Yeah, Zinc is... Oh yeah, Zinc and Mini are the other ones that go here. They have more meh kits. Where is Zinc? Where are you, Zimmy? Both of these are similar, slightly better. Is it even a better special? In the context of the weapon, yes, because it fits its playstyle. Slightly better special, slightly worse sub. God sub, but Stamp doesn't really do what Mini wants to do. Also, Burst plus Stamp is kind of just redundant on this weapon, because, like, they're both made to get you out of a pinch in close range. So, like, if the Burst Bombs already do that, you don't, like, the Stamp's not gonna... You don't need both. It's redundant. Yeah, like, the Mist Bulb... Like, this just has better main synergy, but this is, like, stronger pieces. These are great main weapons, and Zimmy in a game with actual maps... Like, what Zimmy wants to do is Zimmy wants to walk on a flank... paint for its bubble as it walks on the flank. Then as soon as the enemy team is at the point where, like, oh shit, this guy's gonna get behind us, we have to deal with him. Boop! I pop a bubble. You can go deal with the 2400 HP shield, and I will just fight you because I'm a real main gun. Or you can ignore me. I'm gonna run behind you and then, like, mist and annoy you while my bubble's there, and hold this angle. The problem is, in this game, there's no angle. Because there's no flank. So, like, what the hell do you do? Do you want to go walk in and bubble in the front and watch your bubble die to any of these other specials in the game? Like, take your pick of walking forward with a bubble and see which one of these absolutely nukes the shit out of it? So Zimmy, this weapon in like good Splatoon 1 maps or good Splatoon 2 maps, I say Splatoon 2 loosely because most of the good Splatoon 2 maps are just reskin Splatoon 1 maps like Pit and Anko, but like Anko V, whatever. Yeah, like this thing on real maps would be scary. The problem is the only map with real flanks in this game is Flounder. And this weapon sucks ass in Flounder. And Bubble sucks ass in Flounder. Because rather than being able to bubble at any time you walk forward on the flank, you're climbing walls in which you physically cannot deploy the bubbler. So you have to make it up the wall, and that makes it way easier to deal with it. Yeah, also you can't, like, ninja squid into bubble, because there's walls. So, like, if we get Reef, for example, this will be a weapon you pick on the Reef. You know, or Pit, or Splatoon 1 Maki, or a reworked Bluefin. You could pick it. Museum, on clams it's okay, but even for Museum, 2 of the routes to get across to the enemy plat are, like, jumps. You can't walk there. The main route is the one you can walk there, so it's not as good. But, like, it's better. Yeah, like, here you're just forced into a 1v1 with a special that will beat you. So yeah, how can you improve Splat Bros' main weapon? It needs to do damage. All of the Brellas need to do damage first, and then we can think about what else to do with them. But if they don't deal damage, they're screwed regardless. The amount of stuff you would need to give it to be good without doing damage would just make it the worst weapon to play against in the game. You have to give it the damage. Like, it has to deal damage, there's no other way around it. If Brellas do not deal actual damage, they will be shit, or they will be good in the most annoying way, and they will kill the game. You have to just give Brellas their damage back. I should say, like, this is better than those. God weapon. I'll label it great, though. Okay. What else do we have? Is there anything else that's, like... No, I think that's everything. Everything that belongs in these. Oh, yeah, no, wait. Yeah, this. This is... Yeah. But luckily, this one has another kit, so it's okay. Nah, Pro sucks. Pro's a terrible weapon. And then this is like... Okay, let's just start going to... niches that don't work. Zipcaster short range stuff likes to go here. Brush, Luna, Carbon. Is that all the zip weapons, or am I forgetting one? No. Yeah, all of these are like short range zip stuff, and they all suck. There's no reason to pick them. Like, yes, a Carbon can zip next to you and vertical flick, and it looks really cool, but like, you don't, like, why would you want that though? Like, that counterplay there doesn't work, so who cares? Right? This is missile and torp spam. Doesn't actually work. Like, ever since the missile cooldown was added, this thing doesn't do anything. All this did was a missile weapon that can also spam torpedoes at you as it spams its missiles. But now you have 10 seconds where you don't do anything. You picked Octo before? Yes, and I've regretted it every single time for, like, a long time. So... yeah. Flounder? I don't even think it's worth picking Octobrush on Flounder. Like, I might pick it for Flounder Rainmaker as a comfort pick in LTC if I can't find something else that works. But, like, I don't think it's worth picking Octobrush anywhere. Like, you can do it and you'll do okay. The main weapon's not that bad. The special on it's not that bad. The bomb on it is fine. But, like, there's no reason to pick it, and at a certain level, they do just kind of fall apart. Yeah, I think Autobomb Kraken would give it a niche. I think Autobomb Kraken would give Octobrush a niche. I think what this needs is a way cheaper Zipcaster. Like, if this thing's zips aren't gonna work half the time, it better actually get them. Like, this thing needs, like, 180 zip. This is permadoomed, and this is probably permadoomed. This, like, it needs 180p. What song is this? I will link. Yeah, this needs 180 or 190 zip. Like, this has to get cheaper. S1V Octo kit. It probably wouldn't work in this game, to be honest. Like the Splat 1 kit. It would be fun, but it probably wouldn't work. Also, there's no moray to where you must pick it on. If CRB gets wall whale... If CRB gets wall whale, I won't even be surprised. I'll be disappointed, but I won't be surprised. No, V-Try is just... Oh, yeah, okay, let's also do the... okay niches, but okay niches, I guess. This is try. Like, this is a try with an inkjet. You pick it because it has an inkjet over the cooler, but the cooler is kind of way better for what it wants to do. Like, it fits its playstyle more. But more importantly, you have a fizzy. You can't play to your inkjet because you don't have a way of getting jet. People underestimate just how little this weapon can paint. Like, I have seen some V-tries that paint less than me on this thing. Like, this thing doesn't get jets. What happened to C Junior? Oh yeah, now it's here. Like, I guess it'll locate people a lot, and it'll, like, throw a wave. And the weapon can paint. But it's also, like, still a junior. Like, it's still not going to do that much. And in fact, V Junior would be the same thing. Like, this thing will walk forward and put bubbles, and then, like, yeah, the bubble will break, but at least you'll get more of them than, like, something else will get a crab. Does it offset having a junior and a bubble? Probably not, but, like, if you pick it occasionally, I can understand why. At a buff junior, how would you? I wouldn't. I don't think these things need to get any better than here. Like, this thing getting better, fine. I don't think Junior needs to get better than this. Like, I really don't look at Junior and go like, yeah, this needs to be way better, guys. I'm like, nah, this is probably fine. I think, like, Junior Arrow Nova and stuff should, like, at a certain level, I think they should just kind of fall apart. They are great beginner weapons. Like, I love Junior's weapon design. It's actually in my opinion, it's one of the best designed weapons in the game. But it is not designed to be a competitive weapon. Everything about this weapon's design is to teach you how to play the game at a beginner. Like, it will paint for you. You will hit shots because it has spread. You can throw bombs and it won't hate you. You can paint the floor for a while because you have God ink efficiency. You have a special that can let you stay alive a bit if you accidentally stand somewhere you shouldn't, you know? And then this thing is like similar concepts but a bit more advanced. But like, at some point this was built to be a beginner gun. And that's okay. It does it fantastically. There's a reason Junior's been the first weapon that you play for 3 games in a row now. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. And the buffs they gave it in Splatoon 2 made it a solid weapon. But we've also seen in Splatoon 2 what happens when this becomes a top tier and it's not fun. Like, weapons like this that over-rely on poking bombs and spamming special just should not be really good. They should end up at about mid and leave it there. They don't need to be better than that. And that's okay. I think the idea that every weapon needs to be equally balanced is just wrong. These 4 weapons, less this probably should be a bit worse, but like, these 4 weapons should be as good as they are. Because they have depth, they have options, they have a lot of skill expression, they have counterplay, etc. Like, these weapons are designed well to fit being top tiers in a competitive game. Right? Like, they are built to that. They're built in the sense that there is a gigantic difference between a god Splash player and a mid-level player picking Splash because it's good weapon. People don't want to admit that because having the idea that Splash is a brain-dead weapon is very nice for people's egos. But truth be told, is the gap between your average mid-level Splash and Kiver is pretty fucking large. Don't know how to break it to you any other way than that. No, Splatanas do need to do their object damage. That's the whole... They are made to deal with objects. That's the point. Like, Splatanas were designed with a 3.2 and 2.9 object damage multiplier for a reason. Like, these are here to be counters to this and this. And it turns out that's pretty important. Because God knows how good this shit would be if Splatanas weren't in the game. Brella shields? It's not even that bad for Brellas. If Brellas could do damage, Brella could actually fight Splatana off just fine. Like, people overstate that matchup. And before people call me biased, I am the Brella guy too. The difference is, as the Splatanas break your shield, you lightly tickle them, and then you die. A Brella that deals damage will kill it and then lose its shield, but then you killed the Splatana and you wait and you're fine. Anyway. What else is like... this, I guess? Like, Stamp is better now, but there's still no reason to pick it because Wiper's in the game. Like, you have your mid-range and burst bombs on top of the Splash, but like, why not just run burst bombs and mid-range in the comp? And then also have a Stamp on a weapon that fits it better. Like, if it was a 1v1 setting, understandable, this thing would be useful over Wiper. But in 4v4, just run the pieces the Wiper's lacking, and then you also have a Wiper that actually works with it better. Now, if Stamp actually also gets you in, different story. Then this thing can be good. But it doesn't. Yeah, Glooga's probably here. Glooga is basically the never die and threaten to two-shot you thing. But I think even with a specific comp around it, it's just not worth it. Krakon, same thing. Like, get behind, set up beacons, Kraken its way in, but it doesn't get Kraken enough. Oh yeah, Roller. I forgot Roller was in the game. Yeah, Roller's an okay niche. If you want to pick around the Roller, you can pick around the Roller and it can work. I think that's about it. Oh yeah, Bo. Bo would be here, to me. I think Bo needs a kit that helps its reliability more. Like, that makes its threats more scary. I forgot about Bo. I'm so sorry. I was supposed to talk about it with Reflux, and I just forgot. I think the thing is, like, Bo doesn't, like... The 190 Whale helped a lot because Whale is very nice for it, but, like... Its kit is okay with it, but it does not make it scary. Like, a good kit on Bo will make the things Bo does well, like trying to hit you over walls and AoEing you, actually scary. That's why stuff like Wave is good, because if you're marked and slightly weak, this thing becomes terrifying. Because you're just constantly going to get AoE spammed, or like threatened to get fall-offed because it's way easier when you don't have to hit all 3 bullets. Stuff like that. But its current kit just doesn't make it that scary. Yeah, Storm would work too. But I think Wave would be best. Because, like, when you get hit by a Wave and you're marked, I think it's threatening for way longer. Okay. And then Hydra. Or is Hydra here? Yeah, Hydra's here. Honestly, some map modes like Scorched Zones, you could totally pick Hydra and it would work, and it would just do, like, the Hydra things it's always done. Yes, this is the very famous Zelda and Chill 2 playlist. Yeah. Nobody picks it, but, like, you could totally pick it some places it'd be fine. Like, heavy and ballpoint players could totally just pick Hydra on, like, Scorched Zones and be fine. But, like, I just don't think they care to. Especially when you already have two, like, really good ones. But not Galugas. Because this thing has less problems than Galuga. Like, a Hydra is still the best DPS at its range value. And it can actually get a decent bit of booyahs. Hydra's like number 3 most played solo queue open in Japan. Yeah, like, I can see why. Dynamo. And Zap. Dynamo and Zap are support weapons with Cooler, but Cooler's not good on support weapons right now. So just pick Tri because it's 180 and it'll output it more than these two anyway if it really wants to. But at least it's like trying to be something. This thing's here too. Actually, I don't even feel comfortable putting this here because it's so abysmal. Yeah, this is your mid-range AoE, except the main weapons have no ways of dealing with you when you get too close, and their kits suck. This is okay. And this is just... Yeah, Rainmaker niche, that doesn't work. Oh yeah, this is niches that are okay. Yeah, the Aerosprays are still trying to be something. Aerosprays are trying to be like Booyah niche and Rainmaker niche. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just outclassed. Shooter with Booyah niche, that doesn't work because it gets literally none of them. Survivability niche. Like, survivability location, but it's too weak. And then, hello, Brellas. Tense. Yeah. This has done well enough in some JP weeklies to where I think it at least deserves this tier. Because this thing actually is by far the best thing to actually have a vacuum with it. Beacon is good, and when it actually works, occasionally the shield does take up enough resources to where it's worth it. V-Rapid just doesn't have a way of threatening people at mid-range because it kills too slow, and when it gets ran at, it has a strike, and then it's vulnerable. And also, if you run at it while it's striking, it then has no, like, nothing to do. No, 10 is not a kit away from becoming real. I don't think a new kit would actually buff 10 that much. Like, I don't think a new kit with 10 would make it here. I think with main weapon buffs, it could. That's what ink mines are for. Yes, the 2 ink mines will save you. Yeah, Brellas all need main weapon fixes. And yeah, like, I could separate these further. Like, Undercover is definitely a tier below normal Brella. Neo Splash is probably a tier below V Splash, but again, not a full tier list, not the point. So I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, these are all the weapons I think they need to do things with. The bad news for this tier and Dapples is that, well, actually, okay. So, let me go over what these all need. Right? These, what, for the most part, these are fine. This needs to be able to jump and get wave faster. This needs a bit better ink efficiency, so it could use its bomb. This could use a little bit of quality of life stuff or a better kit. Special buff, special buff, special buff, special buff. Probably better to leave as is. Probably better to leave as is, but would benefit from Tri-Strike buff. Could use a better kit. Could use a better kit. Fine, fine. Everything here and upward, fine. Needs Tri-Strike buff. Needs line marker buff. I don't know what to do with these. Because the main weapon's already so good. Maybe make the main weapon slightly better and then just pray it doesn't break the game when it gets a third kit that's good. Buff the main slightly and give it a better kit. Give it a better kit. Yeah, you're doomed until the third kit regardless because you're not like an insane main. Give it a kit. Got a kit. Mission accomplished. You're done. But if you buff the special, this could be better. This will just be fine in this spot. It doesn't need to be higher, but it could help if a mist buff was there. Should be where they are and are fine. Can't really fix bubble, but maybe make it, like, make curling better so this thing can move more and it'd probably be more worth it. Maybe make it a little bit faster. So it could be used a bit more frequently, but not super needed. Give it the ability to jump. And also a different kit. Mainly a different kit. This one just needs a different kit. Buff hammer. Buff the main. If they made zip a little better, sure. But not needed. It has another kit. Cheaper zip. Maybe better zip and better main as well. Probably just perma-doomed because Try is in the game, but you can throw stuff at it if you want. Probably should just remain down here because is missile weapon. Buff stamp so it's an entry tool. Rework the damage on this thing so that a normal shot and a roll shot combo together. And then it has a cool new playstyle and it can be much more mobile and like actually threaten things. If we buff the paint on this, it would probably help. Maybe make Kraken a bit better too, but mainly this just needs to paint a bit more. Have it actually paint the map and make vertical flick worth using. Make the special actually worth it for a support. This needs that too. This has another kit, so leave it, but Tri-Strike buff would still help because it reduced its vulnerability. Vac needs to be an actual special. Leave these as is. Like Junior, they really don't need to be any higher than this. For fuck's sake, Get rid of the goddamn Why is this still 210? For what purpose? Let the thing get a Booyah Bomb, for God's sakes. Please? Like, Splattershot Pro players deserve to be able to get their special. Come on. Yeah, it's been 6 months, bro. Why? Yeah, this is 210. Just make it 190, for God's sakes. Anyway. Maybe we can buff this a bit to here, but I would be a bit more cautious about it. This weapon could be extremely annoying if it was good, so let's think about that a little bit. This weapon, to be good competitively, would be hell for casuals, so it's probably perma-doomed. And its kit's already pretty good. Let the goddamn thing actually do object damage. 60 to 68 helped, but, like, seriously. Why does this have negative multipliers to Crab and Booyah Bomb? Get the fuck rid of that. Make it positive. This thing would be so much better if it could damage objects, and then maybe make it a bit faster. Or have a faster charge. Pro's painting better? You do not want a pro that paints well, trust me. You do not want mid-range K-shot. Vac has to be made good, but realistically, why would you ever pick this over the kit with a wall? Probably doomed because Wiper is in the game. I mean, I wouldn't hate if they gave Pencil a charge hold. But I do think, like, I think it needs the object damage thing more. Like, the fact that this thing becomes completely useless when Crabs and Booyahs are on the map is way larger of a problem. Because those are always going to be on the damn map. But, like, if they gave it a charge hold too, I'd be down. That'd be fun. So, fuck it. Give it a charge hold and fix its damage. And then give it a kit. Or make Cooler actually worth running. Also, can this thing not be 200? Did you guys know that this is the only Cooler weapon in the game to be 200p? This is the only one. Yeah. Even this piece of shit is 190p. And this isn't. That's crazy. Oh, and while we're at buffing this thing, maybe make it so it can get 3 full charges without running out of ink. Like, buff the ink efficiency from 40. Like, you don't even have to do all the way. Do like 35% instead of 40. I don't know, but like, God's sakes. This weapon's so cool. Why is it held back by so many stupid things? It's a cool weapon. Let it do things. Stop being afraid of this thing. You just put it in the game. Okay. Unless if they need 6 months to realize the weapon's complete dog shit, which, like, you shouldn't, but whatever. That's what they said, I guess. With the specials. If Vac is better, this is okay, I guess, but it also has Dart, so it's probably fucked. But C-Jet exists, so. Hopefully they also give this thing Burst Kraken in the future, so solo queue Jet players can have fun. This thing needs shit that will keep it alive. It's too goddamn slow. It's like the reflux problem. In Splat 1, it had Wall and Bubble. In Splat 2, they gave it armor. Just give it something so it doesn't die. Like, give it a wall back. Do, like... You could do Wall Bubble on it, and it would be okay. If you want it to be good, like, Wall Rain. Something like that. That might be okay. This thing has L3D. This gets perma-doomed. Because it'll, like, you will... Even if curling was good, like, Splash is right there. Like, I think curling could be good, and Splash could be 210, and you would still never pick VL3 ever. This thing just needs a rework. Like, they should just rework this weapon for this game. I think its whole niche of walling things out was already kind of, like, not great. It led to annoying gameplay. So, like, just rework it. How'd I rework it? I would do something about, like, giving it more power, especially if it fights up close, but at ink efficiency compensation, so it can't spam. Like, more of a fighter, less of an AFK painter, but still can control space, just not as long. That would be the direction I would lead. They need to make Pro an actual weapon. Also, this is Dart. So yeah, bye. Stamp, again. Every Stamp weapon is just let Stamp get you in and it will be good. Buff Chump and Curling. If Chump and Curling were buffed, maybe this could go here. Maybe. Let it do damage, and then we'll see. Also, give this thing a kit. And give this thing a different one, too. Because, like, this needs a continuation special. And then, nope, you strike and you have no shield. If you could use your main in strike, maybe it's okay because you refill your ink tank, but then you still have to throw strikes. So yeah, that's the state of main weapons. Everything here is in, like, everything up here is in pretty good spot. Like, everything here, really good. Top tier is very healthy. Lot of stuff that needs new kits or better balancing, though. But, like, these are easy fixes. Like, that's the good news here. Most of this is pretty damn easy to fix. Like, you can get these up pretty easily. For, like, 90% of this is very fixable. Or I should say 90% of the stuff here that should be fixed can very easily be fixed. And the stuff up here is pretty good. Just maybe would be nice, but can't do that right now. Yeah. That's my thoughts on main weapons. It's a lot less cleaner than specials because there's a lot of these. And honestly, the more of them they put in the game, the harder it's going to make to do charts like this, but maybe I'll do it in the future. This has been another hour rambling. Thanks for watching.